the deadliest insects in the world. Today you're going to see deadly honeymakers, little caterpillars that'll kill you by simply touching them, and lethal Viagra?
Bill, right?
Yeah, it is Bill. Yeah.
Let's get started. Number 10. Puss caterpillar. We begin with something cute. Aw, just look at it. The puss caterpillar seems a helpless animal that you want to pet, hug, and give all your love to. But don't do it! The soft hair that covers this animal is actually venomous spines with such a powerful toxin that after touching them, you will feel like having a broken bone. And while you're lying on the floor sobbing in pain, you'll also feel burning, swelling, you will get blisters in the affected area, you'll vomit, and wheeze. The puss caterpillar lives in the southeastern United States and in Mexico, and if you accidentally touch one, the experts recommend using tape to remove the spines before the situation gets worse. Of course, it's easier said than done because you will hardly be able to move. Number 9. Cow killer. This creature is barely 0.75 inches long. However, because of its name, I wouldn't even touch it with a stick. Coyote Peterson, a well-known documentary maker, had the guts to get a sting from the animal and…
Give me a second. Oh my gosh.
I think he's gonna cry. It has an LD50 value of 71 milligrams per kilogram. If we keep in mind that the lab rats weigh 250 grams, with 71 milligrams, you would get 4 dead rats. Also, its sting is extremely painful, and although a single sting is not that lethal to humans, if you got stung by the cow killer many times, you would become a corpse in 2 hours. So, now you know, be careful, especially if you go for a walk around tropical areas or deserts of the eastern United States. It's trivia time! Let's talk about arachnids. Do you know what is the world's most venomous spider? I'll give you 3 options. A. Brazilian wandering spider. B. Black widow. Or C. Brown recluse. Leave your answers in the comments. Number 8. Asian giant hornet. This 2-inch insect is certainly intimidating, as well as it is very hefty. But if you believe that physical appearance doesn't matter, when it comes to the Asian giant hornet, you should think twice. It has an LD50 value of 4 milligrams per kilogram, so if you weigh around 155 pounds, a small colony could easily kill you. In Japan, the Asian giant hornet's venom has already taken several lives with its evil ability to cause kidney failure. Now, if for some reason you believe that a hornet that goes on its own is not dangerous, you're wrong. According to the experts, its sting feels like if you were stabbed with something really hot, and you will experience that sensation for a few days. By the way, I'm not trying to scare anyone, but this animal is not only found in East Asia, since in 2019 it was found in Washington and could continue to expand all over America. Number 7. European dark bee. Do you like honey? Well, beware. The bee family has its own dark night.
I'm Batman.
The European dark bee. Even the most experienced beekeepers consider the European dark bee to be a very aggressive and hard-to-handle species. As you may have noticed, this insect was named after the dark and mostly black coloration of its body, but that's not the most intimidating thing about this animal. It has an LD50 value of 2.5 milligrams per kilogram, causing nausea, cramps, and hypotension. But being stung by this bee is like playing Russian roulette, because while in some cases it took up to 100 stings to kill a human being, in other opportunities, only 1 sting caused fatal anaphylactic shock. I doubt that you can count bees if your walk for stealing honey goes wrong, but if you suspect you're hypersensitive to its venom, and you live in Europe or North America, you better get honey at the supermarket. Number 6. Monarch butterfly. It is worldwide known for its astonishing orange and black colors. This is the monarch butterfly. It lives mainly in North America, but it flies to Central America during fall, as well as it is found in Australia and other countries in Oceania. We could enjoy its beauty forever, except that they're very poisonous. According to biologist David Rivers of Loyola University, Maryland, these insects may kill humans. But how? Well, if you ever see them flying, you'd better keep your mouth closed because if you eat them, you're in danger of having a heart attack, as their toxins interrupt heart contractions and disrupt the nervous system. But this venom doesn't belong to them, as these insects get it from their favorite dish, the milkweed that they eat since they are larvae. An extra fact, if a bird realizes that it has eaten a monarch butterfly, it knows it's in trouble, so it throws up to save its life. Number 5. Philippine hornet. If the Asian giant hornet startled you at number 8, this is its cousin, which is much worse. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess where the Philippine hornet lives. 1, 2, 3. Right, in the Philippines. This means you can breathe again, since this insect is not close to you. Now, if you happen to watch this video in the Philippines, I'm afraid I have some bad news. The Philippine hornet has an LD50 value of 1.6 milligrams per kilogram, so this is the world's most toxic hornet. In other words, if you get stung by this animal, rest assured you will convulse, pee blood, and turn blue, because your circulation will also fail. While I couldn't find a record of deaths caused by the Philippine hornet, perhaps that is because it prefers big trees to nest, and thanks to its reputation, no human is likely to approach around there. Number 4. Spanish fly. Let me introduce you to Viagra become an insect. No, I'm not kidding. In ancient Rome, people used the Spanish fly for that purpose, but very cautiously, because it's brutally poisonous. It doesn't bite, but it produces cantharidin on its legs, a substance the animal smears its eggs with so that predators don't eat them. Now humans, in their wisdom, came up with the idea of getting covered in cantharidin down there, as this substance opens blood vessels. However, this animal has an LD50 value of 0.5 milligrams per kilogram. To make it clear, if a horse accidentally eats 4 Spanish flies, it dies, because the venom causes urinary and gastrointestinal bleeding and kidney failure. The most symbolic case of misuse was that of Ferdinand the Catholic, who wanted to have a night to remember, and he died. So if you're in Europe and you see this insect, don't touch it. I mean it! Number 3. Red imported fire ant. The red imported fire ant has been classified as a high risk to public health in Mexico, so this is a strong indication of its power. It has an LD50 value of 0.36 milligrams per kilogram, although its effects are nothing more than dizziness, fever, nausea, low blood pressure, and hallucinations. 6% of people who are stung have an anaphylactic shock that can cause death. This species is native to South America, but the southern United States, Taiwan, the Philippines, China, and Australia has already an infestation of red imported fire ants. Also, these animals have been reported to sting curious doggies and the cattle, which sometimes die. A last interesting fact, while its name may imply that it has a burning and painful sting, actually it's not. Entomologist Justin Schmidt describes it as slightly alarming, so you could get this deadly sting and barely notice it. It's time to answer the trivia. The world's most venomous spider is letter A, the Brazilian wandering spider. It has an LD50 value of 0.63 milligrams per kilogram, causing not only great pain, but also giving your breath a hard time so you could die from suffocation. Spiders are not insects, but arachnids. That's why they haven't been included in this top 10. However, they're not less threatening because of that, right? Number 2. Maricopa harvester ant. This southern U.S. inhabitant is considered the insect with the most toxic venom on the planet. It has an LD50 value of 0.12 milligrams per kilogram. Luckily, it seems that a single Maricopa harvester ant has too little venom, because if you want to kill a 4.4-pound rat, it requires 12 stings. Mind you, if you're near its colony, forget about your future plans, because when you get stung, your body gets impregnated with a pheromone that attracts more ants. But if you happen to be allergic to its venom, that's it, you're dead. If you're not allergic, your luck doesn't improve either, because the venom affects your nervous, circulatory, and digestive system. It causes bleeding and awful pain. If a 4.4-pound rat dies with 12 stings, how much do you weigh? You can type in the comments section if you don't mind. Now, do you remember about Trump's toupee at number 10? Well, the next one is similar, but much more terrible. Number 1. Giant silkworm moth. Throughout South America, especially in the Amazon rainforest of Brazil, it is crawling the deadliest caterpillar of all. It is covered in hair that will intoxicate you by simply touching it. The giant silkworm moth's venom will begin with pain and bleeding in the affected area, then it will trigger a fever, vomit, pulmonary and intracranial hemorrhage, and kidney failure. 34% of people who don't receive early treatment die. The last case registered in the province of Misiones, Argentina, was that of 8-year-old Milton Duarte, who was playing soccer. He went to pick up the ball and rubbed his leg up against the animal, so he suffered from terrible bleeding and died 3 days later. The last hope seems to be a serum produced in Brazil, so good luck with that. After watching this video, I'm sure you'll show more respect to these little